All right, we are back here on another edition of Keeping Up with Guntersville Athletics with head coach, Coach Self. And Coach, how's things been since we've last visited with you?
Well, we're 2-1. We had 2 area games last week. Went to Fairview, got a big road win from 2 practices coming off of football. So, it was a quick turnaround with those guys. Really proud of them. We dropped one on the road at Arab on Friday. Good high school game.
Top 10 team.
Yeah, back and forth. And we had a shot there at the end that didn't go in, and so, we're trying to use adversity for an advantage right now. Keep our guys hungry. Thought we had 2 really good practices responding from that loss, and then went on the road last night to Boaz and took care of business. And doesn't get any easier. We got Scottsboro here Friday, and then we go Westminster here Monday, and then at Moody. So back to work today and tomorrow, and get ready for another area game.
Anytime you play somebody from up here on that mountain, it's going to be a rivalry, so to speak, game. Talk about that a little bit. You don't have to travel far to find good teams.
Right.
Arab's pretty much on this mountain in the county, and then you look at Scottsboro, although they're a county over, it's still going to be top rivalry type game, and then Boaz.
Yes.
Talk about this area in basketball.
Well, it's a great area of basketball. A lot of good coaches, a lot of good teams. I think Cruz does a great job at Arab. He does his stuff. He runs it. He's not going to waver what he does. And then obviously what they've done at Scottsboro, and them being in our area has made it more competitive. But this Northeast area is really good basketball, really good coaches. And you don't have to go far to find it.
How's the football guys since you got them back out here? I know there's got to be a little bit of rust, but I know they're probably excited because they know you guys are going to be pretty good this year. How have they been so far?
They've been good. I mean, it's definitely, like we talked about last time, the conditioning is completely different, basketball shapes. So we're kind of getting through that. And then just, you gotta play games, get game feel. I think every game we're getting better. And I think it's going to be good for us. We don't want to peak too early, and we're not even close to peaking right now, so we'll be all right. But they're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, the thing about basketball is and it always has been since I've been around the game, since I've been about 9 years old, I've always found that it just takes a rhythm. Once you get in a rhythm and you get some confidence with some guys and start flowing, you kind of know it's there. I talked about this last night with Coach Norris, who's taking over at Coosa. He and I were talking. He's talking about, it may take half a season, could take 2/3 of a season, but you'll know when it hits.
Yep.
How do you judge that yourself?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, 100%. That was actually the message we talked about before the game last night. It's gonna hit at some point, just don't know where. And when it does, it's because of the work you put in. So, I thought last night we looked a little better. We had a little bit more rhythm on both sides of the ball. Not anywhere near where we're going to be in January and February. You got to think we've had 4 practices. We played 3 games. So, we've got a lot to do to get better, but I just think they got to keep working, keep busting their tail like they're doing. We got great leadership from our seniors, and we just got to get better each day. If we can get better each day, I like where we're going to be when it comes down to it.
How beat up were the guys after football? Because they had a 14-game season.
Yeah, they had a big season. I think obviously they're beat up. I mean, but our coaches and football staff does a great job of keeping them healthy during the week, making sure they're ready to go on Friday. Obviously, you go play a Ramsey, you're gonna. I know Trayvon bruises on the back of his legs, and I know that Holzenbeck had some shoulder and quad stuff. Just the normal wear and tear. But they're getting through it. We're trying to modify some of our extra sprinting just to kind of get them to where they're healthy so we can get back going. But they hadn't let it be an excuse. They've come ready to work, and I've been proud of them about that.
How different is your lifts and conditioning that you do as opposed to what Coach Reese does here?
Well, I think it's definitely different. Obviously, they're going to be a little bit heavier. Coach Cahill is kind of like the strength conditioning coordinator, and I work with him, just some ideas that he has and what we do. It's definitely different. We're just more toning. We're more agility, box jumps, doing our band, stuff like that. But what we have a good mixture of is, they still lift during the season, for us, not on game days, but around it to keep that going for football, right? Gotcha. So they don't, and then they'll do our agility stuff here. So it again goes back to what we talked about the first, coaches working with each other, team working with each other. It always benefits.
Yeah, because I've seen places where It's actually totally opposite.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's hard to get continuity there, and it usually ends up hurting the athlete.
Absolutely.
Coach, before we let you get out of here, because I know you're busy and we're running behind today, what are some of your main goals this week? What are your biggest focus on you as far as getting this team ready?
Yeah, I think we just got to get better every day during practice on both sides. We got to get better defensively. Offensively, need to get into a little bit more of a flow. That can come with time. Big area game here. I really want to encourage the fans at Guntersville to come out and support us. We got a good girls team. Kenny's doing a good job over there. I think our boys are fun to watch. I think when we're rocking and rolling, we're going to be one of the funnest teams I've had, coaching wise. But we really need our community to get behind us. I'd love to see the gym packed out on Friday. And then we turn our attention to 2 more games. I think it's big. After that, we rest, get a couple of rest days in to get these football guys kind of some rest time, and then hit that second half of the season. Like I tell our seniors, it's going to be over with before we know it. We got to be ready to go. So just want to encourage our fans to come out and help us with this big area game on Friday.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us. I'm sorry I'm running a little bit late today, and I know you've got a busy schedule, so we won't keep you all day. But thank you so much.
Appreciate
we'll get back
you.
here next week.
Thank you.
All right, we're back here with another edition of Keeping Up with Guntersville Athletics, and at this time we're here with head girls varsity coach, Coach Kenny Hill, the man himself. Coach, how you been?
Good, man. I've been doing good. Can't complain.
Hey, good to see you. Last time I checked in with you, we hung out with you, was in Mobile, Alabama. You were coaching the Alabama versus Mississippi All-Star games, which you got a victory. Take us back to that experience, Coach, and how special that was for you to see that and be a part of that experience.
It was a blessing. It's a bucket list thing for us and for any coach, I would think. And if you ever get a chance to do that, you're just truly blessed because only a few coaches ever get to coach in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game. It was just a great experience to be able to coach my own player, Olivia Vandergraff, and then also, Chloe Siegel and Smallwood and Renee Kelly and all those girls that are just outstanding college players as freshmen this year. And I've been following all of those via the internet, and it's just, it's a blessing just to be able to coach that type of talent.
And when you've seen that type of talent, you got to see them go not one-on-ones, but maybe 5-on-5s at practice. How awesome was that just to be a part of that?
I mean, it was amazing. And you saw different levels of greatness. Like Renee Kelly had a level of greatness that, you think you've seen other players with, and then you're like, wow, this young lady has a level of greatness that's way up there, and you just hadn't coached anybody that's had that superior level. I coached Bo Nix. That's probably the only one that rivals that, but he wouldn't. I didn't coach him in football. I was coaching her in her main sport, and I was like, wow, this girl is phenomenal.
Yeah, she's a difference maker.
Yeah,
she took that game over.
Yes, she did.
She went loony, man. I mean, she did really
She
good.
made me look good.
I think she made the whole state look good.
Yeah.
And we seen, like I said, we had people from all over the state, from the south to the north, all the way up to Tennessee, pulling for us and pulling for you and the girls, and was so happy when you won that game. It was a big deal for the whole state. So appreciate you for that and those girls' hard work you put in. And Coach, in the offseason, you lost Olivia Vandergriff. That was a big loss, but you also had some really good returning players. Can you talk about some of the changes and what that offseason's looked like for you?
Well, one of our biggest things was we had a couple of girls that we just really needed to push them to get in shape and play in shape and just really be on them to get in shape because they had been coming off the bench. Obviously, we knew that Ivy was going to be returning from a knee injury, and we really had to monitor her, but really push her at the same time, whether it was through her rehab or just getting back. It was tough on us not having her last year. And
very good defender.
Because she was so big outside 3-ball during the state championship run where she had 8 threes in the Final Four. And, we really missed that. So it was getting her back. Of course, the 7th grader was coming straight out of 6th grade, going to be our starter at point guard. And we knew that it was going to take time with her, but we got her in, taught her our entire playbook. She knows it as good as anybody in our program, and that's just amazing. Being 12 years old, she came in, learned everything so that she could be ready. It was a lot of information. It was
That's a big
a
task
lot.
for a seventh
Yeah,
grader.
it was a lot, and she's got about 90% of it down.
That's good.
And then of course with Tazzy, just her going from Robin to Batman.
Yeah.
And like you got to be that girl.
Yeah.
You got to understand your value to this team, and your value is every single night we need double, no foul trouble. And you know, the games that she's played well, we've won, and the 3 that she hadn't played well, you know, we lost those. One of them we lost because she got in foul trouble, and we stressed her like, got to know your value to the team.
Yeah.
And we
100%.
can't have you in foul trouble and all of that. We don't have anybody to replace you. You're Batman now. You're no longer Robin, and you got to be that girl, and you got to have an attitude about it.
Gotcha.
And I think she's starting to grasp that and take it in stride.
When you see her play, there's times where she's super dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen games that she would take over completely, and other teams just didn't have an answer for on either end, really. And she's athletic enough that she can defend out in the open floor and traps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She can get off the floor and rebound. She can alter shots. There's a lot of things she does good.
Yeah, she. I mean, you talking about a girl that as a sophomore in the state championship game had 19 rebounds.
That's incredible.
You know, and I'm always saying if you can do that in 10, you can do that every night if you want to.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
It's all about her internal drive for it. And last night against Boaz, I mean, I think she was like 22 and 15. And she can do that night in and night out. It's just us relaying to her and reminding her, hey, turn the switch on. Turn the switch on. Be dominant. Be an animal out there.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to being nice Tazzy when the game's over.
and you mentioned 2 other girls we'll talk about real quick. And you know, Ivy being it, I think it was ACL, I believe, when I seen her at that All-Star game when that happened. I was watching. We were there, had some photographers there taking pictures. From there to now, her rehab road has had to been tough on her. I mean, and she had to watch the majority of last season. She come back really late, and got some work in. But how is she now?
It's strange you say that because in the first quarter of the A-Rab game, she tweaked it again, and so we
It's
just
one of those things where kind of in her head a little bit.
I think so, maybe in her head a little bit. And we always mess with Ivy, and I tell our girls this all the time. I say I might talk about you bad, and I might be on you hard and be critical, but I ain't gonna let nobody else talk about you.
There you
and
go.
They kind of look at me and smile, but I always say, you know, I always say this: if somebody gets hurt, I always say I'm glad it wasn't Ivy, because we'd had to call in the med flight to come get her, and we mess with her all the time about you know, just with that. But no, she literally had a real tough injury that really affects you more mentally than it does physically, and she tweaked it in the first quarter against A-Rab, and then tried to come back in the second half and just wouldn't. So she had an MRI. We're waiting on those results. We're just praying that everything's good and she's back with us because, like I said, we won a game this year over at Mortimer Jordan against Trinity where she hit a shot at the buzzer to win it.
That's good.
And you know, and she's hitting the 3 ball again, and she's doing a lot for us. She understands. So we really, really, really need her, and but not just for us, but for her and her psyche. Like it's never a good thing when you see a kid that's really worked not only lose the season, but possibly maybe losing the second season if we don't get a good report on this. So we just really got her in our thoughts and prayers because, I mean, she's been with me from the jump since I've been here. And
very few people defend the. I don't know. You know, before her injury, her on ball defense was phenomenal. I watched her during that tournament run you guys had. She was just like a Tasmanian devil on people. Then she's hitting threes, and she wasn't turning it over, helping you break presses. She did a lot of good things.
Oh, yeah. She's back. Like I said, she's been back our first 9-10 games, giving us everything she's got. So hopefully we get a good report.
And then you talked about Hammond, your point guard. She's not a normal 7th grader. You know, she plays at elite level, you know, with the Southern Stars and the AAU stuff and is around basketball all the time. But since you've got your hands on her here, the things that you have her doing, you said she knows 90% of the playbook and she's maturing at a rapid pace. Can you talk about her and how her transition's been?
You know,
it's the varsity level, because this is a different world.
You know, you get a girl, she's 12.
12 years old, starting at point.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And you got to, I mean, the number one thing is how are we going to manage her? How are we going to make sure that we don't put her in a position to where she may hurt the team?
Gotcha.
Because you just don't want that type of pressure on a young kid. I think she wants that pressure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we put 4 seniors around her, and then a few other girls come in, sophomores that can help her. But the key with her is just like, and I think we understand the team, like, Addison got to be comfortable. If Addison's not comfortable, nobody's comfortable. Because she's really having to handle the ball and handle the pressure. And teams find out she's a 7th grader, and they try to put a lot of pressure on her. And then, 90% of the time she handles that very well. So, she's maturity-wise, skill-wise, work ethic-wise, she's 20 years old with that. And it's amazing to see that in such a young kid. I don't think I've ever had a young kid that was ready that young. Probably the best one that I had that young was probably Rhett Harrelson, who's the head coach of Enterprise now for the varsity boys. And still, even when he was in 7th grade, he was a holdback kid, so he really was supposed to be an 8th grader. So Addison has really, really come on. She's a strength of our team,
good.
And we hardly ever take her out of the game. She knows what to do. She's our best ball handler. Probably one of our highest IQ players on the team as well. And then she's not as weak as you think she is. She's pretty strong in the weight room. She's in shape. We run the mile, she's gonna win.
That's good.
She's a sub 6 minute, 30-second miler. And so she's gonna win. She's gonna be in the gym more than anybody on the team. She's gonna have the best work ethic. We just want her to talk more, be a little more vocal, and that'll come with time. But she's definitely coming along. I don't do a lot of things to like, cause she's young. Like, I may not post a lot about her on Twitter or stuff like that, because I just want things to be simmered down, because when the time's right, all that stuff's gonna happen for her.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be a situation where everybody in the state's looking for her.
Yeah.
And we done maybe overhyped this young kid.
We'll put pressure on her.
Before I put added pressure. We just want it to come, because what's gonna happen for her is gonna happen for her.
Yeah.
At some point. We ain't got to talk about it all the time. And
just the thing, 2 more years she'll be in high school.
Yeah, and exactly. And my job really is really to put her in the best position to be successful, and protect her too.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically. Make sure she's and relay this to a parent. Hey, she playing a lot of minutes. She need a rest today. That type of stuff. And not put her in a bad situation like that. And then as time goes, she'll end up being one of those girls at the floor general. That's a coach on the floor.
Oh yeah.
So
no doubt.
So proud of her where she is. And it's my job to really just teach her how to be, as I call it, the choir director.
There you go.
And get her to that point where the game's easy. And really, I mean, this time next year, she's going to be special. But by 9th and 10th grade, I mean, no injuries, and she keeps working, she'll be really, 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 really good. And we'll be proud of it. And the thing I like is the girls on our team, they understand. Like, they're like, hey, you're part of the team. We got to have you. We need you playing well as well. And
that's special.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this season, Coach. When you come into this season, you're always going to have a circle on your back here at Guntersville. You've had such a good program. Then, you've had players come through here that's really good. You won a state championship. You coached the Alabama Mississippi All-Star game. So I say all that to say this: each and every time you guys go out, you about to get their A. You're gonna get their A team. They're gonna empty the clip. They're gonna do everything to take you guys down. How's it been so far?
I mean, and I had to tell our girls that, like, listen, we've played. This is going on year 2, really, and really, it kind of started that junior year with Olivia and Bradley and Laney and all of them, where we started getting people's best shot. And I said, it's kind of like,
it's good. It's a blessing.
You know, when you ask people, you know, hey, who you gonna vote for? And they say, anybody but so and so.
Yeah. Yep.
And I tell our girls that, I send them texts all the time, anybody but Guntersville. Anybody but Guntersville. Listen. And it just is what it is. But Guntersville, everybody wants to beat us.
That's true.
Everybody wants to beat us. Everybody's rooting against us in this area. You see it with when you get ready, just simple things like film exchange. Simple stuff like that, man, where you like, oh, they don't want to exchange the film?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, so all these folks together against us. So I tell our girls all the time, and I keep a smile on my face, hey, anybody but Guntersville.
That's awesome.
You know, and, you know, even in our area, it's still anybody but Guntersville.
Awesome.
Scottsboro gonna come in here Friday night, and they gonna throw everything but the kitchen sink at us. And I mean, I think they want to beat us worse than they want to go to Jacksonville, or even and I think A-Rab was the same way. We went to A-Rab Friday night, and we had beat them 9 times in a row. And you know, I was talking to my daughter, and she was like, I don't even know what it's like to lose to A-Rab. She never lost to them. And it's just one of those things where, you know, and you saw it happen with.
That's crazy, considering they won the state or they were in the Final Four.
Yeah, but they never had beat us.
That's crazy. That's good stuff.
So that's one of them things you got to.
Your daughter never lost to them. That's crazy.
Yeah, never lost.
That's good.
And that's one of those boxes, you know, that I'm sure A-Rab checked off. Is like, hey, we got to beat Guntersville. We ain't done it.
That's right.
And they beat us Friday. And like I said, we'll have another match with them coming up. So we got to be ready for that, because every night I'm telling my girls, we have to match other teams' intensity
100%.
Because their intensity is going to be higher than what we see on film. Right. Because when they see that G on our jersey,
ready to go.
Their intensity goes up. And that's a good thing, because that's kind of the way we've made it. And we see that with a lot of teams. I mean, you look at Georgia, they're getting everybody's best shot.
Oh, yeah.
And
100%.
You know, I mean, Auburn, I mean, that's a team that lost to New Mexico State, but they gave Alabama and Georgia everything they had, and that's what we're doing. Boaz gave us everything they had last night.
That's right.
So we have to be ready for that.
Up here on this mountain, they wear a sense of pride. If you're from this, you know, Boaz, Sardis, Albertville, Guntersville, this area here, and I mean, there's other parts of this mountain too, but those areas, when those teams go against each other, they really try to bring it and take each other out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me ask you this before we let you go, because I know you're a busy man. I am as well, but moving forward this week, you said you got Scottsboro. Who else you have, and what's your main focus at this point in the season?
Well, our number one goal is we're 1-1 in the area right now. We got to come in Friday and really play well against a young, athletic, really good, play hard Scottsboro team. Those girls probably played 100 and something games together since.
I was at that game over there last year. It was a war. Yeah,
last March, and we gotta get, if we have any ambitions to host the area, being 1-1, we need to win that game Friday.
That's a big one, ain't it?
And yeah, it's a big one. And then obviously when we play A-Rab the second time, we have to win that one. So we're coming out.
Well, that's a tough
Friday.
area right there, buddy.
Oh yeah, it's the SEC West.
Murderers Row. That's what that is.
And I tell you, people ask me, how's it gonna be this year? I said we could come in fourth in the area, or we could come in first, or anywhere in between. It really could go that way. And,
you ain't even joking. You're being serious.
Oh
man,
tough
area.
I mean, you got to really prepare. We got good coaches in our area, and so we'll play Scottsboro Friday. Then we go to Bob Jones, and we'll play last year's 3A state champs Trinity at a little classic in Bob Jones, and then next week we go over to pre-Christmas tournament at Oak Mountain.
That'd be good.
So I think we open up with Tuscaloosa County over there. So
7A.
Yeah. So we're going to get as much competition as we can to prepare us for February. So that's our thoughts. That's our goal, and that's what we're looking at. These next few weeks is Scottsboro Friday, Bob Jones in the little pre-Christmas classic Saturday, and then first of next week we'll go over to Oak Mountain for a pre-Christmas tournament.
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, we're going to shut this edition down, but we're going to be
sir.
back here each and every week to check in with you. And next week we're going to talk about some of these games that you've got coming up at the end of this week, and hopefully you got a positive report to tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but if not, and I tell our girls this all the time. All right, and we ain't gonna lose sleep and get in a frantic over November and December losses.
That's right.
Now February losses, we might lose some sleep.
Yeah,
but
main thing is you need to be peaking when that tournament hits.
Yes,
that area
got
tournament.
to be.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Keeping Up with Guntersville Athletics, and we'll be back here each and every week to bring you another edition, God willing. Thank you so much.